Welcome, I'm Seema from Edufinite and I'm glad you could join me. This is a continuation of the series of lessons based on parts of speech. In this video, I will discuss about verb tenses and will focus on the details of past tense. There are separate videos for present tense and future tense. For added insight into the subject, link is provided in the description box. But before we begin, I'd like to remind you that if you have any queries, do feel free to ask questions in the comment section below. And if you like the content, do give the thumbs up and share with your friends. Do consider subscribing to my channel. I will repeat the discussion on verbs and tenses before focusing on the current topic. This is for the students who are new to this channel. Others can skip this part and move on straight to the section on past tense. There is a lot to understand under this category. Without wasting much time, let's delve into it. In this video, under verb tenses, I will be teaching past tense, that is past simple tense, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, and past perfect continuous tense. Verb is a word that is present in the predicate part of a sentence. It expresses physical action like walk, sing, eat, read, pray, etc. undertaken by the subject, that is the noun or pronoun of that sentence. Now in this sentence, my sisters sing devotional songs. My sisters is the subject. Sing devotional songs is the predicate, where sing is the verb. I eat an apple every day. I is the subject, eat an apple every day is a predicate, and eat is the verb. It can also express a state of being or concept like be, seem, look, smell, have, etc. Now let us look at the sentences. You seem tired. You is the subject, seem tired is the predicate, where seem is the verb that expresses a state of being or concept. Now next, they look happy. They is the subject, look happy is the predicate, where look is the verb expressing a state of being or concept. Next, let's focus in the tenses of verbs. Verb tenses help us to understand how an action relates to the flow of time. In English, there are three main verb tenses. Present tense. It is used to describe things that are happening right now or things that are continuous. The boys play football every day. So the boys are playing it every day. That's continuous. The boys are playing football. This is happening right now. Past tense. It is used to describe things that have already happened. So we use expressions like earlier that day, yesterday, last year, etc. For example, the boys played football yesterday. So they have played it the other day. So that's finished. That's already been done. Next, future tense. It describes things that have yet to happen. And we use terms as later that day, tomorrow, next year, etc. For example, the boys will play football tomorrow. So they haven't played it yet. They'll play the next day, that is tomorrow. Next, the present, past, and future tenses are further subdivided into four smaller aspects respectively. It is based on the different reference of time and state of action. They are as follows. The simple tense. Simple tense is the most basic among all other verb tenses. Simple tenses are generally accompanied by time adverbs that indicate whether the action happens in the present, happened in the past, or will happen in the future. The continuous or progressive tense. The continuous or progressive tense describes continuing or ongoing actions. The continuous or progressive tense is easy to identify since it uses the present participle form of the main action verbs, that is, ends in ing. Next, the perfect tense. Perfect tense shows when an action happened in relation to another action. We use a form of the helping verb have, that is, it can be used as have, has, had, or will have when and where required, plus the past participle form of the main verb to form the perfect tense. The verb have changes to show the tense it represents. For example, have and has is used in the present tense, had in the past, and will have in the future. The perfect continuous or progressive tense. Perfect continuous or progressive tense is a combination of perfect, that is completed before, and continuous or progressive, that is ongoing tenses, which shows that something began, continued, and ended before another action. The perfect progressive tense combines the perfect, that is have, has, had, will have, the continuous or the progressive been, and the present participle of the main verb. Now we'll concentrate on simple past tense. We generally use simple past tense when talking about an action that's already been completed. Can be used with or without adverb of time. The time of action can be recent past or in the distant past. We need to note that the action duration is not important here. Yesterday, they went to the beach. Here, yesterday, the adverb of time has been used. Our school easily won the basketball match against your school. So here, we are not using any adverb of time. Next, describing a past habit. So this is a habit had been acquired in the past but is not there at the present. Like, he drank a lot when he was young. She used to travel a lot when she was fit. So now she is not fit, so she is not traveling now, and he has grown older, so he is not drinking now. Next, describing a series of completed actions in the past. She completed her job, freshened up, and went out for a walk. So she completed a job, first action, freshened up, second action, and went out for a walk, third action. So we represent through past tense a series of completed actions. Next, we generally use simple past tense when telling stories or events. We often use simple past tense for actions and the past continuous tense for describing the background. For example, he went to his office and saw some of his co-workers were already doing their jobs while others were drinking coffee and chatting. He quickly called them for an urgent meeting. So his actions are all in simple past tense. He went to his office and saw. Next, he quickly called. But the background actions, co-workers were already doing their job, were drinking coffee. So these are in the past continuous tense. Next, telling about unreal or imaginary things in the present or future. We use it with second conditional or after words like wish. For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big mansion. So here what is happening? The second clause, we use the subject, would, and then the verb. So this is in condition with the happening of the first clause. So that is, if I win the lottery, then only I'll be able to buy the house. Next, I wish I had more time for completion of my project. This is in the present. At present, I'm completing my project, but I don't have much time in hand. So I'm wishing that I had more time. Next, let us look into the structure of sentences in simple past tense. Now, for positive sentences, we have no auxiliary verbs. Must conjugate the main verb in the past simple, and it is invariable. That is, for regular verbs, we have to add ed, and for irregular verbs, we'll have to use the second form. Now, for positive sentences using the regular verb. So, the regular verb over here is play. We add ed to it, and it becomes the main verb for past tense. Now, with I, we, you, and they, we use the main verb played and then the rest of the sentence. For example, I played cricket, or we played cricket, and likewise. Next, for even third person singular tenses is the same. He, she, it, then the main verb, and then the rest of the sentence. For example, he played cricket, and likewise. Next, for positive sentences with irregular verb. Now, irregular verb here is eat. So we'll use the second form, which is ate. So the sentence will be like, I ate food, or we ate food, or you ate food, and likewise. Similarly, he ate food, or she ate food, and likewise. Next, positive sentences with the main verb as be. So here what we do is must conjugate the main verb be in the past simple, that is was or were. Was will be used with first person and third person singular, and were with first person plural, second person singular plural, and third person plural. So the sentences will be like I was in the park, or he was in the park, or she was in the park, and likewise. And for the plurals it will be we were in the park, or you were in the park, or they were in the park. Next, for negative and interrogative sentences with the main verb as regular and irregular. So what we must do? First, we must conjugate the auxiliary verb do in the past simple, and it is invariable. So we'll use the did form. Main verb remains in the base form and is invariable. Now, for negative sentences, we have to insert the word not in between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. So for making negative sentences, first the subject. So it can be I, we, you, they, whatever. Then we use auxiliary verb did. Then we insert not. Then the main verb we are using here play, and the rest of the sentence. So it will be as I did not play cricket. We did not play cricket, and so on. Similarly, he did not play cricket, or she did not play cricket, and so on. And for negative sentences with irregular verb, we'll use the base form. That is, we are using the verb eat. So the sentences will be like I did not eat food, or we did not eat food, or you did not eat food, or they did not eat food, or he did not eat food, and so on. For interrogative sentences with regular verb and irregular verb, we'll have to exchange the place of the subject with that of the auxiliary verb as we did in the negative sentence. But there'll be no not over here since this is not negative. So how do we write it? We start with did, then the subject, then the main verb, and then the rest of the sentence. So it's as did I play cricket, or did we play cricket, or did you play cricket, and so on. Similarly, for the singular also it will be did he play cricket, did she play cricket, and so on. Next, with irregular verb. So irregular verb, we have chosen eat, so it will remain in its base form, and did will go right in the beginning, so it will be as did I eat food, or did we eat food, and so on. Similarly, did he eat food, did she eat food, and so on. Now, structure of the simple past tense in negative and interrogative sentences with the main verb as be. There is no auxiliary verb for negative or interrogative sentences. Must conjugate the main verb be in the past simple, that is was or were. Not is inserted after the main verb in the negative sentence. So let's focus on the negative sentence first. Now, negative sentence, what we do? We have the subject first, then the main verb. Main verb, what will it be? With the singulars, that is first person singular and third person singular, we'll use was. Then we have a not, and then the rest of the sentence. And with the plurals, that is the first person plural, second person plural and singular, and third person plural, we'll use were. So the sentences will be like I was not in the park, he was not in the park, likewise, or we were not in the park, you were not in the park, or they were not in the park, likewise. And for interrogative sentences with the main verb be, we have to exchange the place of subject and the main verb. That means the main verb will come first, and then the subject, and then the rest of the sentence. So the sentences will be as was I in the park, then a question mark, was he in the park, question mark, and so on. Similarly with were, it will be were we in the park, were you in the park, followed by a question mark. Now, past continuous or progressive tense. We generally use past continuous or progressive tense when talking about parallel actions taking place together. It can also be used about an action that is occurring at the same time as another. Like, I was driving when the drizzle started, or while I was driving, it started to drizzle. So, when one action was going on, I was driving, and at the started, that is, it started to drizzle. Next, talking about what someone was doing at a particular point in time. We usually use it with time expressions like all day, all afternoon, for hours, etc. Like, for example, I was working in the kitchen all day, or my grandma was sleeping all afternoon. Next, for describing habits that are persistent. Persistent means like it's irritating but continuous. We usually use it with expressions like constantly, always, forever, etc. He was constantly disturbing the class. So that's an irritating habit. She was always complaining in the office. Now the structure of past continuous tense. Now for positive sentences, we must conjugate the auxiliary verb, that is the be verb, in past simple, that is was or were. The main verb is invariable in the present participle form ing. So what we do is, with first person singular, third person singular, we use the auxiliary verb was, then the main verb in the present participle form. That means we are using the verb play, so it will be added with ing, becoming playing, and then the rest of the sentence. So the sentences will be as I was playing cricket, or he was playing cricket, and so on. Next, for plurals, we use were, and also with the second person singular. So it will be we were playing cricket, or you were playing cricket, or they were playing cricket. Next, for negative and interrogative sentences. Now for negative sentence, not is inserted between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. And how do we do it? Like, first is the subject, then comes the auxiliary verb, then not, and then the main verb in the present participle form, that is the action verb plus ing, and then the rest of the sentence. So the sentences will be as I was not playing cricket, or he was not playing cricket, and likewise. And with plurals, that is first person plural, second person singular plural, and third person plural, we'll use were. So it will be as we were not playing cricket, you were not playing cricket, or they were not playing cricket. Now for interrogative sentences, as usual, we'll have to exchange the place of the auxiliary verb with the subject. So the auxiliary verb will come forward, and then the subject, then the main verb in the present participle form, and then the rest of the sentence. So it will be as was I playing cricket, was he playing cricket, and so on. And with plurals, it will be were we playing cricket, were you playing cricket, or were they playing cricket, and so on. Next, past perfect tense. We generally use past perfect tense when talking about an action that finished before another past action. We use the past perfect to make it clear which action happened first. The concert had started when we arrived. So, two actions, the concert and we arrived. But which happened first? The concert. It started first, then we arrived. They had completed their homework, so they wanted to play. Note, if it is clear when action happened first by using before, after, etc., then the past perfect is optional. The concert started before I reached. Here, the idea is clear that which action happened first. Before I reached, the concert started. So we haven't used here the past perfect tense. But in the next sentence, the concert had started before I reached. So here it's, again, this is also clear, but we are using the past perfect tense over here. Now talking about actions that began in the past and continued till another action or time in the past. So when I finally got the job, I had been in New York for past 3 years. So here, one action, when I finally got the job, that is when I got the job, I had already been present or in New York for 3 years. Next, Ravi had never been to his cousin's place before last year. Now, we generally use past perfect tense when we are talking about unreal or imaginary things in the past. We use third conditional or wish for the purpose. If she had worked hard, she would have passed with flying colors. So here in this sentence, we see that there is a condition that if she had worked hard, then she would have passed with flying colors. Next, my brother would not have fallen ill if he had taken the precautions. I wish I had completed my task earlier. Now what do? We make the third conditional. How do we make it? By using past perfect after if. We use if, then we use the past perfect, and then would have, and the past participle form of the verb in the required sentence. So it is used to describe a situation that did not happen and to imagine the result of that situation. Next, the structure of past perfect tense in positive sentence. The auxiliary verb have is conjugated in the simple past and is invariable. That is, we use the form had. The main verb is invariable in the past participle form. That is, we have to add ed. Now for positive sentence, I, we, you, they. For these subjects, we have the auxiliary verb had. It's fixed for all, whether it's plural or whether it's singular. So, and the main verb is, if we are using a regular verb, so it's played, ed, and then cricket. So, I had played cricket, or we had played cricket, or she had played cricket. Now for negative sentences and interrogative sentences. Now for negative sentence, not is inserted between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. Let's check. The subject, if we have I, we, you, they, then we have the auxiliary verb had, and then not, and then the main verb played, and then cricket. Now I had not played cricket, or we had not played cricket, and likewise similarly she had not played cricket, or he had not played cricket, and likewise. For interrogative sentence, as usual, we have to exchange the places of the auxiliary verb with the subject. So it will be as had I played cricket, had we played cricket, or had they played cricket, and so on, or had he played cricket, or had she played cricket, so on. Next, past perfect continuous tense. We generally use past perfect continuous or progressive tense when talking about actions that begin in the past and continue till another action or time in the past. The past continuous tense, the past perfect continuous tells us how long, and usually we use for and time. We had been living in Shillong for 5 years when we had to leave. The boys had been playing for about an hour when it started to drizzle. So we are using for over here for in both the sentences. Next, talking about the cause of something in the past. I was tired because I'd been working for long hours. So the cause of being tired is I'd been working long hours. Next, the room was messy and I had been cleaning it. Next is talking about the duration before something in the past. Rohit needed a break because he had been working hard for past 6 hours. So we are talking about that he had been working for past 6 hours. Next, Harry was angry as he had been waiting for 3 hours. So why he was angry? He had been waiting for 3 hours. Let's look at the structure of the past perfect continuous tense. Now for positive sentences, the first auxiliary verb have is conjugated in the simple past and is invariable, so we'll have to use the had form. The second auxiliary verb be is invariable in the past participle form, that is being. And the main verb is invariable in the present participle form, that is ing. So for positive sentences, the sentences will be as I had been playing cricket, we had been playing cricket, so on. Or he had been playing cricket, she had been playing cricket, so on. Next, for negative and interrogative sentences. Now, not is inserted after the first auxiliary verb in the negative sentence, and the position of the subject and the first auxiliary verb is exchanged in the interrogative sentence. So let's look at the sentences. In the negative sentences, see, I is a subject, then we have the auxiliary verb have, and with I, we, you and they, we use the auxiliary verb have, and with he, she and it, we use the auxiliary verb has. So the sentences will be I have, then not, then auxiliary verb been is fixed for all, then the main verb, it will be in the present participle form ing, and then cricket. So it will be I have not been playing cricket, or we have not been playing cricket, and so on. And for the singulars, it will be third person singulars, that is he has not been playing cricket, or she has not been playing cricket, and so on. Next, for interrogative sentence, the place of auxiliary and verb and the subject, first auxiliary verb and the subject will be exchanged. So the sentences will be for first person singular plural, second person singular plural, and third person plural. It will be have, begin with have, then the subject, have I, auxiliary verb fixed, been. So have I been, main verb with ing, playing. So have I been playing cricket, question mark. Have you been playing cricket, question mark, and so on. And with has, it's used with third person singular, so it will be has he been playing cricket, or has she been playing cricket, and so on. Next, let's revise. In conclusion, let us test our understanding of the past tense in the sentences given below. Now, Aisha dashed to the concert yesterday. Goes, go, or went. Dash, you go to the market last month. Do, did, or does. She dashed very happy after receiving the award. Has, was, or were. We dash playing golf yesterday afternoon. Are, were, or was. We dash they coming to meet us last night. Was, are, or were. Why dash you having a late lunch. Does, were, was. We dash finished our work. Had not, was not, not had. I had never dash about her. Hear, heard, hearing. Where dash the children gone. Has, have, did. The monitor dash working smoothly. Had not, were not, had not been. Had the students dash following the instructions. Be, being, been. Hina dash expecting the support. Have, had, had been. Now write down your answers. If required, pause the video. Now I'm coming to the answers. So the answers are as: Aisha went to the concert yesterday. Here goes and go, these won't be applicable because they are not in the past tense. Did you go to the market last month? Here we need the past tense. So do and does is not of past tense. She was very happy after receiving the award. Again, has is not in the past tense. Were is in the past tense, but it's plural, but the subject over here is singular, so we'll have to use was. Next, we were playing golf yesterday afternoon. Again, here are is in the present, so it's not applicable. Was is singular, so it's not applicable, so were is the answer. Were they coming to meet us last night? So again, here was will not be applicable as they is plural. Are is in the present tense, so not applicable, so the answer is where. Why was she having a late lunch? So again, does will not be applicable, being in the present tense. Were being plural, not applicable as she is singular, so was is the answer. We had not finished our work. So had not is the answer. Was not will not be applicable here because this is past perfect tense. So had and ed will be used for the verb, for the regular verb, that is. Next, I had never heard about her. Here, hear and hearing won't be applicable because this is again in the past perfect tense. So we'll have to use heard over here. Next, where had the children gone? Again, has and did is not applicable. Had is the answer. Next, the monitor had not been working smoothly. So here again, this is in the past perfect continuous tense. So had not and were not is not applicable. Next, had the students been following the instructions? Be and being won't be applicable because this is again in the past perfect continuous tense. So been is the only answer. Next, Hina had been expecting the support. So had been, that's for past perfect, and expecting is in the continuous, so past perfect continuous tense. So have and had will not be applicable over here. Thank you for being there with me. Hope you found this session useful. Do like and share with your friends. Bye. Take care. Stay safe. See you in the next one.